All right. So, hello everyone, and a very good evening to each and every one of you. First of all, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Mayank, and I am here. I am very thrilled to welcome you all to our masterclass of exploratory data analysis. So, this masterclass is just a piece of our data science course, which is in collaboration with IIT Roorkee, right? So, which carries a lot of information, and we'll be discussing more about it at the end of this masterclass. So we'll be keeping this masterclass very interactive and very informative for you guys, right? So if you have any kind of doubt related to this masterclass or any topic being covered in this masterclass, so you can drop your questions in the chat box below. Right. So first of all, let me introduce to our today's mentor, Akash Maurya, who is in data science and is working as a data scientist and have several years of experience in the field of data science. So he'll be covering today's topic of this masterclass, and he'll also share his experience in the data science industry, right? So there are so many platforms where you can learn and gain knowledge. But today he'll be giving you insights into the data science industry as well, right? So, which is also not available anywhere else. He'll be talking more about how to become a data scientist and how to sustain in the data science industry, and what career you can choose after you learn or gain some knowledge in the field of data science, right? So, what and also what revolutions can you can do with the help of data science, right? So, I request you all to share this webinars or masterclass Zoom link in your WhatsApp group, college WhatsApp group, and you can share this meetings link among your friends as well. So it will be really helpful for them to gain some knowledge, and it can also change their life by this webinar. So, I guess we are good to go now. I'll have Akash on board. So from here, he'll be taking care of you guys. He'll be covering each and every questions of yours, right? And we'll be meeting again at the end of this webinar, and we'll be discussing more about this whole program of data science in collaboration with IIT Roorkee, right? So thank you so much, each and every one of you. Akash, you can take over now.
Okay, hi guys, good evening everyone again. So it's been a series of these webinars and we are in this third webinar that we have right now. And thank you everyone for joining in this session. I warmly welcome you all. So let me just introduce you myself, myself Akash Maurya. I'm currently serving in Deloitte as a data scientist. My work usually, goes around analyzing the data, presenting the insights to our client that we are working with. And please, if you do not have any question, please be muted. Okay. Yeah. So thank you. So yeah, I was speaking about my roles and responsibilities that I work in Deloitte. So basically, as a data scientist on a daily basis, I interact with a huge amount of data, and I have to present insights to the businesses that I work with. So I talk about the data. I take the data from them and I talk about the what insights that we generate from the data set and what they can do with the help of those insights, how they can improve themselves as a business, and how can they most specifically, how can they generate profit from that insights, more profit, and how can they improve their culture mainly, right? So these are the things that I daily interact with on a daily basis. Moving forward in this session, I'm going to tell you that, and I have to also in the previous session we had seen the visualization. How can we do the visualization itself? In this session we are going to see the exploratory data analysis. How can we find the insights from the data that we are dealing with, right? mostly. So that begins with, let's start with this, and I will keep this class very interactive. It is not going to be just, me and you, me talking to you guys. So whenever you have any questions, any query, feel free to ask me. I will be happy to answer your questions. Okay. Okay. So let's move further. And before starting with this, I'll tell you that whatever I'm discussing over here in this class, so this will be in a very brief manner, right? I will not go and explore. We are not going. We will not go and explore in depth of this because we do not have time. We have very short, limited time. So what I'm going to do is I will keep it very brief. And if you have explanatory question, then I can go deeper in that particular part. But if you have to go to the much deeper into this session, not only this, but also the whole data science part of it, then as Mayank already said that we are launching, a master class. So we have already a course, in collaboration with IIT Roorkee. So there you will see each and everything starting from, data analysis to visualization to SQL and to deploying your model, machine learning. Each and everything will be discussed in a thorough way. Okay, so that is what is going to be this particular session in a very explanatory way. With that note, let me just start with this. So what exactly is, exploratory data analysis and this EDA part? So basically, when we do, exploratory data analysis is a step that comes in a data science pipeline. Where does it comes in a data science pipeline is basically when you start with the data understanding, when you start with the data mining. So it starts with the data mining. Data mining means nothing but you are getting actually the data from some company or some user or some internet sources, some online sources as well. So you are getting the data from there. Once you get the data, you actually do some pre-processing, right? You do pre-processing. Why? Because you just want to do some analysis, and before doing those pre-processing, you cannot do analyze that. Our data is always not in, our data is always not in, a good ready to use mode, right? So before analyzing that, before doing that exploratory data analysis, we'll have to actually pre-process that. So I'm also going to cover that part in here as well. Like we have to sometimes, deal with the null values. For example, our data sometimes have null values. It does not have the rows or values in the particular cell, right? So we'll also see that now. So as I said, it's a very vital step in our data analysis journey. And, when you understand your data well, it is very good to, go and implement the machine learning model on that. So mainly for a data scientist, when you talk about him, I would say more than 50% of the task that goes investigating and pre-processing the data. So in the pre-processing and exploratory data analysis, more than 50% of the time of a data, data scientist that goes into the machine learning modeling and evaluation, and that's all a different thing. But like deployment is just one-way process. In just one first time you'll have to give effort on that. Otherwise, just every time you'll have to update the model only. So as I said, most of the time, as I said, more than 50% of the time that goes into EDA and pre-processing, and that's why we have picked this particular topic for this session today. Okay. As I said, when we understand our data well, we can create more better machine learning models for that, right? And these are the importance. I'm not going to again just go and read the PPT through you guys. So importance of this EDA and data analysis process, you can simply understand that we can go through the effective data analysis by revealing the insights from the data, right? So starting from the data mining and then data analysis part, data pre-processing part, and then from there we can go to this data analysis part. So it helps us understanding the distribution and the relationships and potential outliers, right? What are the outliers and all what these are going to see in this very explanatory way in this session. All right. Moving forward, again, we have we can also test the hypothesis. We can tell us we can analyze and we can actually report the problems in a company. We can tell them the probable fixes that they can have, right? So these are the things that we do on a daily basis. Moving forward, the benefits of a data science, exploratory data analysis is that we should be able to make informed decisions, right? EDA provides us valuable insight that can guide us for a direction, directed analysis, right? We can make analysis based on our exploratory data analysis, we can do the decision making based on our exploratory data analysis. Okay. Again, it helps us, making the informed decisions based on the processing and based on the analysis that we have done. We can also generate hypotheses. We can test them as well. We can know that whether the hypothesis is correct or not. That's something we can also do that. Identify the issues in the data. Sometimes our data set is not good. So let's say if you have not performed, exploratory data analysis and you directly went into the machine learning modeling, you will not know that, let's say in some cases, machine learning may not work well because your data set itself is not that much good. So what you can do in that case is you can basically do analyze the data. When you analyze the data, you will get the potential issues in the data set, so that you will be able to understand why you are not getting actually that much accurate results in the machine learning model, right? Then you can actually, solve that problem and then improve the accuracy of your model particularly. Okay, so that's that. Again, these are a few more benefits of the exploratory data analysis, which is optimizing the model. That's what just I talked about. And then resources allocation. For example, let's say when you analyze your data, you will be able to know that what kind of a data you have and what are the potential fixes that you can. Then you will know in what process what is the problem, and then you can actually utilize your resources better in order to work and get the maximum output of your company or anywhere that you're working, whatever data you are analyzing, right? It reduces the risk of time and effort in irrelevant or noisy data. Sometimes we get the irrelevant or noisy data. So basically, exploratory data analysis helps us to basically mitigate that and bypass that and understand that, okay, that is not a useful data to go with, right? Okay, moving forward, what are these benefits? So these are the benefits itself. Again, enhancing data quality and understanding. So if you feel like your data set is not capable enough to do certain tasks, then eventually there are some statistical techniques through which you can enhance the capability of your data that you're using. The trends or irregularities in the data. Sometimes I would say the outliers and all that, outliers and noises, right? Irregularities in the data set, it helps us to find that. And by addressing the poor data quality, we can actually create a better data set that will create us a better model overall. Okay, let's move to the next thing, which is data profiling and summary. So let me, with this note, I will also share you guys this, the notebook that I have already built corresponds to that. So here we have this, this data. So there we have, as you can see here in this, I have already loaded this, this iris data set with us, and this is the summary. So when I say the profiling means you are going to actually look into the basics of the data set, which is nothing but the information. So that you can do by the data summary. And we can also get this, we can use this iris.info or the dataframe.info method that will gives us a pretty good summary about the data set. So for example, this data set is about flowers, right? There are three types of flowers: Setosa, Virginica, and versicolor. And there are, there are data sets about its petal length, petal width, sepal length, and sepal width. So in a flower, there are two things: sepal and petal, and you can measure, the sepal length and width. So basically, it's sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, and you can, go with that, the sepal and petal. And based on their measurement, you can classify whether that flower is, a Setosa or Virginica or the versicolor based on their measurement, right? I'll just show you the data set as. So if you see here, if you just do the describe, so you will be able to find that, So when you see here, so this is the mean of the sepal length for the all data set. This is the mean of the sepal width for the all data set, petal length and petal width. Similarly, this is the standard deviation of that. This is the mean of that. This is the 25th percentile. Again, 50th percentile, which is nothing but the median value, and then 75th percentile, and then the maximum value, right? That is that. And then there we have, the step in step 3, we have, we can see the distribution as well. For example, I am seeing the distribution of the sepal width, right? So if you see here, this is the distribution of the sepal width, which actually tells us about how the sepal width is distributed across its range, right? So you see most of the sepal width are between, 0.5, 5 to, I would say, 6 or 7. Most of the sepal width are in this particular range, right? Again, this is, this is the whole data set that has been plotted, identifying the trends and the patterns in the data, which actually tells that these three classes, out of that, Setosa is clearly, separated from each of these, and versicolor and virginica are correlated with each other. But again, further, I will actually plot a new plot, a 3D plot, then I will show you that in other dimension, if you see it from other angle, so you will find that Setosa and virginica are also, separated from each other, not to that extent, but yeah, they are. Okay. Moving to the next thing, let's say our this. So basically, we can, with the help of data profiling, we can actually understand the initial structure of the data set, right? The characteristics of the data set, including the identifying the data types and the missing values if there is any, right? We can also identify the missing value with the help of the code. I will explain further. Okay, and again, explanation of the summary statistics, where we can actually see, the mean or the median or the mode or the variance or the standard deviation of the data, which helps us to understand the distribution of the data set across its whole range that is given. Okay, moving to the next thing. Okay, measure of the variability. So basically, when you see the data set, the single most important thing within the data is basically, explanation of the variable that we are using. For example, there are three variables, four variables actually: sepal length, petal width, petal length, and petal width. So basically, this is nothing but, four variables. If you see the variation in the data set, right, based on across their classes, so you can actually know these are the distinctive features of the data set. Any data set, the variability in the data or in a particular feature is the distinctive feature of that which we want to preserve, right? So if we measure that, that's also another thing to look out for in our data set. Okay, again, visualizing the distribution by histogram or the box plots that I have already shown you the histograms itself. Now I have also shown you the scatter plot to see the relationship between two variables, right? Okay, so that's what we are going to see later on as well. And identifying the patterns and the trends in the data set, we can use the scatter plot for that. For the numerical feature, we can use the scatter plot, and we can see the trends and patterns in the data set itself. All right. Again, if you have a time series data set, right? If you have a time series data set, then again, this seeing the temporal trend within the data is becomes very, very crucial. Now, again, I will bring you to that particular notebook. Let me just, there are some time series data set as well. So again, this is again another analysis that tells us about the correlation between the features. So when I run this, so you can see here, these are the correlation levels. There are two features which are highly correlated, which is nothing but the petal length and petal width. These are the, Pearson's correlation factors. So the value close to 1 are nothing but a very, very highly correlated, and that too positively correlated, right? Most of the feature that you can see, like 0.82, this is also very much highly correlated. And that is nothing but the petal width with the sepal length. They are highly correlated. Okay. Now, talking about the missing values, how can we find and identify the missing values in a data set? By using this, is null or sum. So basically, again, as I'm telling you that, you might not understand why I have written this code, and with the help of this code, I'm checking the null values or null counts. But when you enroll to our masterclass that is going to have with in collaboration with the IIT Roorkee, in there you will see everything from the beginning. For example, there you will be taught the Python programming language first, which will help you to understand the code that is given presented over here, right? So these things will help you to not only understand the things from a very, very ground reality, but also when you have something, short amount of time like these webinars, so you can also these webinars and understand that in a very, very good extent, right? For those people who understand Python, they might be getting, more than 90% of the delivery that is happening in this particular masterclass. Those who do not understand that, they might only be getting, maybe 60-70% of that only, right? So this is the difference that you make when you have that class, so you can actually upskill yourself to a great extent, and that will make a really great chances that will make a really great chances of you qualifying for a great company later on. Okay, moving forward in this one, we can also understand the outliers within the data set itself with the help of this box plot itself. Let me just tell you what exactly box plot gives us. So you see, for every class, right, for Satosa, for versicolor, and for Virginica, we have each box plots for them. And this box plot, what do they tells us about is basically these box plots tells us about the distribution of the data set again, as the histograms tells us about, right? For example, this minimum value is nothing but the lower whisker, the smallest whisker. This one is nothing but the, I would say, the minimum value. This here, the bottom of the box is nothing but the 25th percentile. This is median value, which is 50th percentile, and this is the 75th percentile, and this is the maximum value. And if there is anything above and below that, so that is called, that is called the, I would say, outlier. Okay, that outlier is calculated based on 1.5 IQR, which is nothing but the interquartile range. So basically, that's another method. I will also show you that in the code as well later on. Okay. Again, so here again we have done this data.info and then summary statistics over here, and you can actually see the mean, median, modes, and the variance and standard deviation of that, all that in here as well. And not only that, you can actually see the range of the ages that I have taken. Basically, this is a different data set. This is the Titanic data set, if you see. Okay. Yeah, this is the Titanic data set. It's a different data set, basically based on the age and the different factor. We are going to predict whether somebody dies in the Titanic tragedy or not, right? So basically, we can see the age range, the people who were there as a passenger in the Titanic, what were their range of the ages, the variance fare, the fare, what was the variance in the fare, how does the fare changes, and the standard deviation of the age, right? So these are the things we can simply calculate and know. This factors tells more about the data set and understand. Those who understand statistics, they will be understanding by directly looking into these these values. They must be understanding something in their mind. Okay. Now here we have figure. Again, another figure for the visualization of the box plot. As I said, box plot and the histogram tells us the same thing most probably, which is nothing but the distribution of the data set. And in this case here, this is the histogram plot of the age, and this is the box plot of the fare. So basically, this tells us to understand the I would say the variance, or I would say the distribution of the data set. For example, by looking into this box plot, I can understand that more than 80% of the people, had less than $100 tickets fare, right? If the data set is in dollars, actually, not sure exactly, maybe pound. Okay. And again, another one is the histogram of the age. So you can see that most of the people were having age 18 to, I would say, 35 or 36 or even 40. Most of the people had that particular age range. Just 1 second. Okay. And then let's say again, next thing here we have, when you see the scatter plot of the year versus the passenger, right? So basically this is what? This is another data set, right? This is another data set, which is the flight data set. How many people are taking the flights, right? So if you see over the year, more people are actually taking the flights, right? So this is the year 1950, and this is the 1952 and then 54. And based on that year, you can see actually more people are taking the flights, right? And the passenger count increases over the time. Okay, so that's another thing. Again, as I explained you about the understanding the data for a time series data set. This is how we can understand the time series data set to a great extent. Okay. All right. Again, we have so this is the heat map of the correlation of the Titan. I mean, this iris data set that we have already seen. All right. Handling the missing values. Again, here we have Titanic data set has a lot of missing values, so you can also see how do we handle them. So you can see here, by using this method, drop and a method, we can simply drop the missing features, right? Missing values, or even though we can fill them as well, right? We can fill them. There are various ways to fill them. First one is the, I would say when we fill by a particular value, or we fill by using a particular column, or we fill based on some statistical techniques. So again, as I'm telling you, there is, we do not have that much of enough time to explain how do we fill the values and which one is the most effective way. But again, when you join our, IIT Roorkee offered course that we are launching, so that will help you to actually understand the things in a much, I would say, ground base, right? So you can understand that how the statistics working here, what are the different ways that you can impute the values in when the values are missing, and a lot more different things over there. Okay, so that is the thing about the missing value handling. Okay. All right. Again, we have I would say remove the data set. You can actually remove the data set, or you can impute the data set. As I said, there are various ways to deal with that. Okay. Let me just now move further. So as I told you about this, you can identify the trends for, I would say, time series data set. If you have, you can identify the temporal dimensions, the time series analysis. We can use the scatter plot for the correlation, not only the correlation, but the trend also. Moving to the next thing, heat maps and correlation again, that have already seen in our data, in our code itself. So heat maps tells us about, I had actually plotted the correlation of a heat map itself. Okay. So that there you could see that how actually that, how the features were correlated with each other, not only with actually the values, but also with the colors. For example, let's say I'm dealing with a huge amount of data. Let's say my data has, let's say 10, 15, 20, 20 or 40 columns. So in that case, the correlation matrix that will be made will be 20 by 20 or 40 by 40. When you have a 20 by 20, there will be 400 different values, right? So 400 different values are very, again, not good to look into. So you can actually create a heat map, which is visually appealing to us, right? So we can understand that data in a much great extent with the help of heat map. So we can directly find out the higher values or lower values in that case. Okay. All right. Moving to the next thing, let's say, again, the correlation and the heat maps are, we can use it in order to understand our data in a much extent way. Okay. Again, dealing with the, missing data, as I've already talked about, we have already seen two ways to deal with that. First one is the, how can we impute the values? And the second one is how can we remove those values? So the strategies for handling the missing values. First one is the removal. We can actually discard the rows or the column for the missing data. So when we discard a row and when we discard the column, so when we have a huge amount of, I would say missing value in a particular column, let's say more than 90% of the values or more than 80% of the values are missing. In that case, we can simply delete that particular column because there is no way that we can use that. And the next thing about, when we can replace that, and when we actually remove the rows, actually, when, when we are not going to impute that value, then we can actually remove the rows in case when, the random missing values are there in a particular column in different columns. Okay. And imputation is another way where we can fill the values based on, again, as I said, statistical methods and using mean, median, mod based on mostly using the statistical method. If it is, categorical values, then we can use the mode, which is nothing but the most frequently occurring value. We can fill with that. And if it is, I would say if it is a numerical column, then we can actually fill it with the mean, and this is how we do that. Okay. And if we have another, I would say, machine learning method as well in order to handle that as well. Okay. So basically, impact of the missing value analysis in the decision making. Let's also understand why this is very, very important to understand. So missing data can lead to the biased or unreliable results. So let's say if I'm going to present some information or some analysis to our company, to the clients that we are dealing with. So in that case, if the data set are missing and if you do not impute that, then that can lead to such misleading information or misleading results. Right? That's the one thing. And it may also result in inaccurate insights and defective decision making in the business, right? And the proper handling of the missing data ensure more robust and accurate analysis in our data science. Okay, so that's the another thing. Now, other than this data analysis, we can also do that is something called feature engineering. Now, what is feature engineering? Is basically generating more features. Okay, so when we generate more features, we are not only putting more information in our data, we are also giving more accurate results in further decision making of the machine learning model. Okay, for example, what is feature engineering? As you see here in the screen itself, so feature engineering is a process of creating new feature with the help of the existing features that we have, right? For example, let's say there is a data set of sales. Okay, so in that data set we have, let's say there is a lot size and there is a ticket price for that lot, right? So what we can do, we can actually calculate, we can create another feature, the price per I would say packet or per piece. So we can divide what is the lot size and what is the price of that particular lot, and we can divide that the price with the help with the lot size, and we will get the price per piece, right? So that's how we create actually a new feature. This was one example, and similarly there can be numerous number of examples, right? So it involves selecting a relevant information and enhancing the data set, right? So we selected two particular part of the data and we created a new third variable, which is nothing but derived from these three things. Okay, so this does not only helps us in achieving more accuracy in machine learning models, but also this can actually tell us more insights in the data set in the further analysis of the data set. Okay, again, creating new features and transforming the variables for the better insights, right? Creating the polynomial features, which actually is nothing but the linear or polynomial combination of the feature that we really have, or binning or grouping, right? So let's say if we have a categorical feature, then we can bin particular feature and then we can select into that particular part. Or one-hot encoding is another way. So for example, every machine learning model does not take I would say the categorical features. What you'll have to do, you'll have to convert them into numbers. So there are two ways. First one is the label encoding and the second one is the one-hot encoding. One-hot encoding is, again, I'm not going to go into much mathematics here. So that's why I told you that we have already that, the higher end class associated with, IIT Roorkee. So we already have that class. So if you are interested in going in depth of these particular things, then you can definitely find your queries for that. Again, so how do we do that? One-hot encoding is basically, we give one value for the current feature and rest of the values will be zero, right? That's what we call one-hot encoding. Okay, and again, logarithmic transformation of the data set. For example, sometimes in the time series analysis, to remove the seasonality or something, what we do is to remove the trend, we actually transform our data with the help of log function, right? Okay, so these are the things, and with respect to this, let me just show you the codes as well for this. For example, you see this is the box plot for the diamonds. This is the diamonds data set. There are basically 5 types of diamonds that we have: the ideal, premium, very good, and good. Who's that? Just one second. Okay. Now moving forward, we can actually see, we can analyze the data set, right? And this is the data set in here. This is the diamonds data set actually. The caret, the cut, and the color, the clarity, the depth, the table, and what is the name? The XYZ axis in there. Okay. So you can also calculate Z-score method, basically to find out outliers. There are various ways to find out outliers, right? We have IQR way, and we have Z-score way as well. So here you can see the IQR way here. Just one second. Okay, so that's how we do it. So this is the, this is how, these are the different ways through which we can actually how we actually do the IQR, or the the outlier removal. So let me just make you understand what are the outliers actually. Outliers are nothing but a way to actually find out the indiscrepancy in the data set. For example, let's say we have a feature, let's say we have a data set of people and we have an age, right? For example, in an age, if I see a 500 value, right? Is it possible that some person can live for 500 years? That's not possible, right? So that is an outlier. So we can actually find that outlier with the help of these techniques, the statistical technique that we have, right? Sometimes we also use the statistics to find the statistical outlier as well. For example, this 1.5 times IQR is another way to find out the statistical outlier, which will actually we can actually tweak this. Sometimes it's a 1.5 times of IQR. IQR is nothing but the difference between third quartile to the first quintile, right? The difference between 25th quintile and the 25th percentile. So the difference between that is called IQR, and 1.5 times plus and minus to that IQR is the range of our ideal value, which we filter that we can, with the help of that we can get our out that. Okay. Now, so this is again, this is the tips data set, and within this data set we can see here how we are transforming that data set with the help of log value, because the data set was very high. Okay. This is one-hot encoding. Again, I will show you guys this material, this whole thing, everything here, right? So if you want to go further into this one, then you can definitely go that. So here you can see we have sex feature and we have day feature. How do we one-hot encode is basically, so in sex we have male and female, right? So you see that one feature has male and female. What if I do sex female to be true? When there is a sex female to be true, that means this is a female. And when it is false, that then this is a male, right? So we have not lost the information, but we have converted that into a different dimension, right? So that's also the other way that we can use it. Okay. The next thing in our data set was nothing but the what was that? Interactive visualization tools, right? So what are the benefits of that? First thing, so engagement with our data set increases. So interactive visualization has capacity to engage with the audience that someone is using, or when we actually interact with our data set itself, so we understand the data set in much better way. I will show you that visualization in there as well. Okay. And again, data discovery, we can look into the data set in a much better extent. We do not have to create a lot of plots, a lot of graphs for that, right? And then dynamic insights, again, interactive visuals, reveals trend and patterns that the static visuals cannot do. Otherwise, we'll have to look into that from a very different perspective, or we'll have to create the same visualization again and again from a different perspective in order to understand that if we do not have the interactive visualization. That the libraries that we have like Seaborn and Plotly helps us to create actually the effective visualizations. Okay, so these are the things. So before that, let me just show you the interactive visualization that I have made in here. So you can see, so this is basically a Seaborn and a Plotly visualization that I have made. So this is an effective visualization. Let me just show you that. So here you can see, whenever I hover over any point, so we can actually see what is the value, which particular species does it belongs to. For example, this is species Satosa, this is species Virginica, this is species versicolor, which is actually color coded as well. That's another thing, but you can also see the value, what is the sepal length, sepal width, because this is the graph of sepal length and sepal width, right? And we can also, zoom in a particular area if I want. I can zoom out. I can do so many different things in here as well. Let's say auto scale, right? I can zoom in, zoom out, right? So these are the things. I can also take a screenshot of that. Now, the next thing is, now I have used all those three basic, dimensions of that. And then I have plotted this 3D graph as well. So you can see this 3D graphs actually tells us more about this. So we can actually rotate it. We can see this, right? So we can see this. See, you can see here the Satosa class is very, very well diverse. Okay, Satosa class is very, very well diverse in this case. All right. And when you see from a particular angle, then you will see that the Virginica and versicolor are also not, that much overlapped as we had seen in the static plot over here on the top. Here. So we see that the Satosa, the versicolor and Virginica both are overlapped into each other. But here, when we see from a different angle, we can simply see that they are not. Okay. So let's say, I think this was something like this. The graph was like this. So you can see from here, we can directly see that this Satosa is clearly, distinguishable, but these two plots are, versicolor and Virginica both are actually overlapped into each other. So this is just a, difference of visual and the perspective where you're looking into this, right? From a different angle, you see everything is, well separable. Okay. So these are the things. Okay, yeah. So Nishant Kadam has a question. So that is basically, see, in this particular visualization, we have just, we cannot do exactly that the way you can do it in Power BI or Tableau. Even though we'll have to, there are some ways that you can actually filter the data, right? The range based on the range, or you can add or delete features, right? So you can do all those things, but not to that extent, because they are proper dashboarding and visualization tools. But Python, as a programming language, or does not have that much capability. Even if it does, then you'll have to write a huge amount of code for that, right? For that, as I told you about. So in this session particularly, I cannot just explain you that how can you do that, but there are ways. And as I told you about that in our masterclass that we are going to have with in collaboration with IIT Roorkee, in there you will see everything well explained, and you will also see this, Power BI dashboards as well. So that's the another thing that you can actually know in there. So that is this is about the visualization and the exploratory data analysis that we can understand. And let's move into the conclusion of that. Okay, so basically the foundation of analysis is basically can be done with the help of this exploratory data analysis itself, right? It provides us the foundation for our meaningful and accurate data analysis that will uncover more accurate analysis and initial insights and pattern in the data, right? With the help of analysis, we can actually do the informed decision making. EDA guides, the data and pre-processing models for model selections, as I told you about. So when you have good information about the data with the help of EDA, then you can actually create a better machine learning model, which will result in better accuracy, right? And again, hypothesis generation, we can generate hypothesis, we can test that, right? We can know whether that hypothesis is correct or not, right? So we can actually know more about our data set, and we can make more decisions based on that. Again, visualization power, data understanding and visualization power. We can understand our data to a great extent with the help of these exploratory data analysis tools, profiling and pre-processing and analysis tools. Like we can see the correlations, the distributions. We can see the heat maps. We can see the box plots, histograms, all those scatter plots, linear plots, and all those different things, which will help us to understand the data in much better way. Visualization power, like these kind of plots that I talked about, you can actually visualize the plots and know more about them. And again, variability insights, we can actually measure like the variance and the standard deviation, that quantify the data in a proper manner. And missing data management. So as I told you about that, when you have missing data in your data anyways, then we can deliver the incorrect insights to the business. So that is not a good way. So we can actually handle that missing data, and then we can start working on that analysis. So that's also another part of the exploratory data analysis. So yeah, this is pretty much about this particular masterclass. And so basically, yeah, that's it. If you have any question, then I will definitely ask you guys to ask your questions. If you do not, then yeah, we can proceed with that, Mayank, I guess. So I will be waiting for your question, guys.
All right. All right. So Akash, that was such an interactive and informative webinar. I got to know very new things with this webinar. So we'll be taking you guys questions. So if any one of you have any kind of questions related to this webinar, so Akash is here to answer them all. Actually, there was one question from Sahil Kumar. Hello, sir. I am pursuing MBA BA. So I want to know which skills can give plus point and stand me up from others. Akash, can you please answer this question?
Yeah. So what is he doing?
He is doing MBA BA Business Analytics, I guess.
Okay. So in business analytics, I have actually dealt with a lot of business analytics in my career. Actually, I have also mentored them as well. So basically, in a business analysis, the statistics must be a great, point to start with. You must know the statistics, and I would say within the statistics, you must know a few things like in data science itself, like the good amount of machine learning itself, and the data analysis part itself, right? So being an analyst, you'll have to deal with a huge amount of data. So if not the machine learning part, then definitely the data analysis part must be good. And for that, you must have a good knowledge of the statistics and I would say linear algebra itself.
All right. So I guess Sahil, you got your answer, right? So we'll switch up to another question, which is from Raghavendra D. He's asking, data science analytics are same or different, and also data analyst.
So data scientists and data analysts are basically not same. Otherwise, there would have been the same name. Why different? So basically, there are actually so many different things in here. You will see data engineer as well. You will see data scientist. You will see data analyst. And I'm not sure if there's any other data something, So I'll tell you the difference between these two, these three actually. So data analysts are, those who deals with the mostly analysis with respect to the statistics and maths involved in there without machine learning in there. When you involve machine learning inside it, that the same guy becomes a data scientist. So it's like the data science is a superset of the data analysis, right? But again, data scientists are not that much of capable. See, here we are talking about the real life scenario, not the ideal scenario that should be. But those people who give more time to machine learning, kind of, they are not good at that much in analytics, but definitely there are exceptions as well. There are people who are very good at analysis and who are very good in machine learning as well. So if you add the machine learning concept, right? If you add the machine learning topic, then the same guy, the analyst, become data scientist, and the data engineer is the guy who actually mostly deals with the cloud engineering technologies, right? Cloud engineering like Amazon Web Server, AWS, and like Azure technology, or Google Cloud, GCP. So if you deal with managing a cloud server, developing the models, Docker, and all those different things, so that guy is called the data engineer. who manage and helps us, to deliver the data from here to there and all that. So that is called a data engineer. So that's the difference between these three.
All right. We have another question from Nishant Kadam.
Yeah.
That's a pretty much long question, I guess.
Okay, I'll just go through.
Yes,
Considering the EDA is done prior to the actual analysis, and that I've seen the people that talk about doing the analysis talk about pretty much the same thing, like the extracting more meaningful data through the visualization techniques. Yeah. So in this session, I think that's kind of a misconception that has been made. So in this session, we did not only just talked about, the exploratory data analysis part that is done before the main analysis, but also the main analysis as well. Okay, so that's what I wanted to make it clear. So it is just not the thing that we do before the actual analysis, but also I have covered those things that we do in actual analysis as well. Okay, before the machine learning itself.
All right. So I guess Nishant, your doubts are pretty much clear now. So we'll be switching to another question. If any one of you have any kind of question related to this webinar or masterclass, so please fire up and feel free to ask any questions related to those the masterclass. And if not, so we'll be switching up to the IIT program, IIT Data Science program. I'll be explaining the structure of the same and how you can achieve the certification from IIT Roorkee, right? So we'll wait for 2 more minutes, and after that we'll be switching to IIT Roorkee page.
I'll be happy to see more questions, guys. But definitely these are quite a good amount of questions and pretty genuine questions I see as a beginner when you're struggling with, starting your career. So these kind of questions were coming also in my mind as well when I was starting my career itself. So definitely I would help you guys more as much as I can on these topics.
I guess, Akash, you have explained so well to them that they don't even have any single doubt. All right, so I'll be starting with the IIT Roorkee program structure. So, and how you can get a certification from IIT Roorkee, which creates a lot of value in your resume, and you can get any kind of job in the field of data science after you complete this particular program and get this IIT Roorkee certification, right? So Akash, I will request you to please stop sharing your screen so I can just show them the landing page of IIT Roorkee.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you. Akash, can you tell me, is my screen visible? All right. All right. So here is you can I'll also drop the link of this particular website in the meantime. So you can go through or download the brochure of this website later on after this webinar gets over, right? You can share this link with your friends and the people who are much more interested in data science and want to learn data science, right? So I'll quickly give a brief about the whole program. So basically, we have collaborated with IIT Roorkee, and this particular data science course is in collaboration with iDiv Sampark, which is a panel under IIT Roorkee, right? So over here, you can, if you want to download the brochure or you want to start this particular course, so you just have to fill 3 minimal details, which is your name, phone number, and mail ID, right? So after you fill these details, you will be able to download this brochure over here, and our counselor will also help you out over a call to choose this particular program, right? And he will guide you and give you directions how to participate or enroll for this particular program. Coming over here, so we have key highlights and takeaways from this particular program. So I already told you that we have IIT Roorkee certification, which comes under I have Div Sampark, right? So after the training period gets over, so students gets to sit in the multiple companies placement program, right? So once you are done with your training period, once you gain the knowledge, whatever whatever is shared by the mentor. Also, I forgot to tell you that the mentor who will be teaching you for this particular course is a industry expert who have several years of experience in field of data science, right? And he'll be sharing you the knowledge, the experience he have gained in the past couple of years, and obviously he'll help you out to become a data scientist in the coming future, or how to crack interviews of such companies, and what questions are asked in companies, and what is trending in the industry of data science. So he'll be covering each and every topic and everything which is out of the course as well, right? So coming back to the placement thing, so once you train yourself or gain the knowledge, after that we'll be having a placements assistance and mock interviews, right? So over here you'll be groomed, and you'll be interviewed by our operations team. So over here you'll be interviewed and asked questions which are already asked in the companies, like who require data science analyst or data scientist, right? So over here we'll be training you in such a way so that you can, it will help you out to crack the interviews in real, right? So in the middle of this particular program, you have to do several assignments, and once the training period is over, so you obviously have to work on the projects which are from the industries, right, on which the big companies work on, right? So you have to work on those kinds of assignments, and you have to work on those kinds of projects as well. Obviously this is the major and one of the USP of our program, that you will be having several doubt clearing sessions and mentor assistance as well. Let's say if you get stuck anywhere in during your project month, right? So we'll be helping you out, our mentor will be guiding you towards the lead, right? And he'll be telling you that where you are going wrong and how to improvise that particular project. Or if you get any doubt during your training period as well, so mentor will be clearing each and every doubt of you, right? So there will be 40 plus hours of live sessions, right? Apart from these doubt clearing sessions and mentor assistance, there will be 40 plus hours of live classes, in which the mentor will be covering the whole curriculum. The curriculum is downloadable from here, right? So you can download it and keep it with you and share it with your friends as well, and go through the whole brochure for much more clarity, right? So this 40 hours of live sessions will be for training you and explaining each and every topic and modules which are required in data science, and and to make you perfect for the data science, right? Mid data science industry. So coming up to the certification, most valuable thing of this program, right? So I have already told you that this particular program is under Divya Sampar, which is under IIT Roorkee, right? So this is a sample certification. So over here you can see the logo of IIT Divya Sampark and IIT, and different logos as well. So this is gonna be your certificate once you complete your program with us, right? And all this information will be available in the brochure which is downloadable. And if you scroll down over here, we have mentioned details of IIT Roorkee collaboration, that how we collaborated and what was the purpose of this collaboration, and how it can benefit the students of different colleges or universities, right? So basically it was just to bridge the gap between the people who are looking to become a data science but are confused and don't know where to go and what to do. So this program, and we have created this program in collaboration with IIT Roorkee, and IIT Roorkee also helped us to curate this particular program for people like you. All right, coming up to the job avenues. So these are the fields, right? As one of you uh, one of you were asking that what is the difference between data scientist and data analyst. So these are the jobs which you can pursue for after covering this program. It can be data scientist, data analyst, or big data engineer, or any one of them, right? So there are so many jobs after you learn this particular program. Coming up to the companies that hire these professional, I don't think so. I didn't need to name these companies because these logos are enough to say, right? So it says Microsoft, Netflix, Adobe, Airbnb, Amazon, Apple, and much more, right? And over here comes the curriculum, right? So this just gives a brief about the whole program, that what you will learn and what type of projects you're going to work and what will be the assignments. For more information, please do download the brochure over there. Right. Coming up to the capstone project. So there are multiple projects over here. As you can see over here, credit card fraud detection, and our mentor will guide you that how to make such kind of products, and how companies ask for to make you such kinds of projects, right? So these all projects are made by the companies, which I showed you over here, right? Yeah, so all these projects and similar types of projects are uh, given by these companies to work on, right? So we have also similar kinds of projects over here, you can see, right? Again, what kind of tools you will be learning. So I guess there are so many tools over here, AWS, Anaconda, and there are multiple tools, and we'll be covering them all in a very uh, explanatory manner. And I don't think so. If you start this course with us, so you will be learning each and every uh, tool over here, right? So these are our happy alumni. You can visit them, you can read them if you have any kind of doubts related to the still, if you have any kind of doubt related to this particular course. So these are the feedbacks, what they say about this particular course and about skill vertex as well. Again, we have covered this. So basically coming up to the placement assistance part in more detail. So over here, you'll be having mock interviews, right? Mock interviews as we discussed, right? And resume building as well. This is one of the key factor when you apply for some company, or when you go for some referral kind of thing. So resumes play a very major role, because that's the very first impression. So over here, we'll be teaching you how to make your resume more stand out from other people. And obviously we'll be working on your personality development as well. So how to sit in a resume, how to answer the questions in a resume, how to behave in a resume. So all these things will be covered in this particular course. So group discussion, majorly in all the companies, group discussion is required to check your communication skills, your pronunciations, and much more, right? So this is also one of the major factor to learn about, right? Coming this is the same page which I have told you about earlier. So you can fill up all these details to download this particular brochure, right? So these are our companies where our alumni works at, right? These are the major companies like Accenture, Tech Mahindra, TCS, Gooey, and much more are there. You can go over there, and you can visit the website and check them all out, right? So this is the program fee which we are offering right now. So this is on if you are not able to pay the full amount at a once. So we also have multiple EMI options in this for this particular program. And if, as I told you, that you have joined this particular webinar, so our counselor will reach out to you definitely, and he will be giving you special discount as you have join this webinar, right? So if you guys have any questions related to this advanced certification program in data science in collaboration with IIT Roorkee, so please do drop your questions in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer them all. All right. All right. Akash, I guess Nishant is again asking you a question. Any idea of the scope of data science in domains like environmental and climate sustainability, and how to get into that? I guess there is some internet issue problem with Akash right now, so I don't think so we'll be able to answer this particular question, but definitely we'll be answering it. You can do one thing, Nishan. You can go to our Skill Vertex homepage. Over there, you can find a support mail ID, and over there you can drop this particular question in a mail. So, and we'll be reverting back to you as soon as possible. There is any discount for college students? Yes, obviously. When our counselor will reach out to you, they'll be asking for your college ID cards and your percentage in your different semesters, and on basis of that you'll be getting scholarships as well. And as you have attended this particular webinar, so obviously you can tell them that you have attended this particular webinar, and you will get extra discount. Anil Kumar is asking how much. I didn't get you. How much what? All right. So any one of you have any kind of questions, or it's time to wrap it up? I hope each and every one of you enjoyed this webinar, and we are looking forward to for you to join our program of IT Roorkee, and which can definitely change your life. You will never regret about taking it. I can bet on that. Anyone have any questions? So please do ask. All right. So I guess which date the program starts? All right. So it starts from 7th of every month. So we are about to start it from 7th of September, right? So if you want to join the program, so it's still not so late. You can join the program. I'll ask my counselor to reach out to you as soon as possible, and you can enroll under their guidance. How much long it will take to complete, sir? So basically it's a 4 months of program, right? In which 2 months of training will be given to you. Third month will be the placement assistance. Third month will be projects delivery, in which you have to work on multiple projects. And fourth month is obviously your placement assistance, mock interviews, group discussions, and your personality development is there, right? And we'll be making you sit in different companies interview over there if you get placed. So it's well and good. And obviously we'll be helping you out to get placed in companies related to data science. Any other questions from anyone? All right, so I guess it's time to wrap it up. Thank you so much everyone for joining this masterclass today.